Cheers and welcome to the 501st Com Chatter. I'm Chloe.
I'm Will, and just want to shout out to DJ Droid for coming through with the wonderful tune at the start of our intro here. It was a bit of a banger last week, and he's done it again today. Mm-hmm. So I think he's available for parties as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, welcome to the episode. We will be doing a Andor episodes 1 to 3 breakdown. Season 2, yes, good reminder. But just want to put it out there that we're doing this today, and we're not doing it because yes, 4, 5, 6 come out today, but we haven't finished watching them. So we're going to try and do that one possibly Sunday, because then also we have Tales of the Empire also on Sunday. So bear with us. It's going to be a busy couple of episodes. So you might get quite a bit of us.
Yes.
But yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of reveals that we missed. Celebration.
There was a lot of reveals, to be fair. Yes. And there's probably still stuff that we've missed. But yeah. Cool.
Yes.
We've tried to get everything that we can that has been announced at Celebration and since then as well.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you guys can see it well. If you're listening, you don't have to worry about this, but it is like Tatooine here at the minute. It is very hot. We've done this podcast on Hoth when it's been like snowing. Mm-hmm. We've done it in Camino when it's raining, and now we're doing it on Tatooine. Maybe get the sunglasses on, get the sun cream on, because it's a hot one.
Yep.
So, shall we begin? Just a bit of personal news, because we know you guys like knowing that. Some Funkos were added to the collection today. I'll come back to that in a sec. But
yes, has been spending.
Yes, added a few Funko Pops to the collection today. 4. but there is a reason why. So I was thinking about it recently, and I was thinking about my Funkos, and sorry, just throwing something. Yeah. So anyway, one of the Funkos that we have is Hunter from the Bad Batch. Yep. And I've been seeing quite a few like Bad Batch stuff recently, and I saw someone else's collection, and I was like, it's time to bring home the family. Yeah. So we have added the rest of the Bad Batch. Well, most of them.
Yes.
So we've added Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, and Echo. Now, yes, was it worth it? 100%. We might add Omega at a later date because she's technically part of the group, but it's sort of like, I want the clones. I don't really want Omega. But they do look really cool, don't they? And the Camino Crosshair was also a possible version that we got of him, but it's basically the same. It's the same pose. He's got like a little bit of scuff marks on it, and the box is a bit different, and you get like a pin. I was like, I might as well just get.
I mean, I was saying to Will, it would be nice to have all of like the matching ones rather than one that has a bit of a different. Because the Camino Crosshair had like a bit of sort of silver to make it look more metally, but also I like them all matching. And I was saying to Will that on Camino, Crosshair isn't very nice.
Fair enough. Good point.
Sort of when he turns, when the Kaminoans fry his brain. But, I think we had the Hunter. We may as well get the rest of them to match.
Yeah, I think it would also be nice because, like I said, I saw someone else's collection where they had like them all in front of their boxes or something, and I was like, if that's how we displayed them, I think it'd be quite nice to have all the Bad Batch together,
Sure.
Because they're a really cool one. I love the Bad Batch anyway, and
Yes. Our sort of plan for them is like having little shelves and each of them having like a theme. So I was thinking we could have like or like the 501st together, or like the Bad Batch together. There's some other Funkos that we have, like horror ones and Power Rangers and stuff like that. And obviously, when we have this shelf, we will show you guys on our socials.
Yes.
In a few months, we're going to be moving, so we're not quite there yet with our displays and stuff. But you'll be able to tell when we have moved and got our shelves and all of that. Because
I know you guys can't see it right now, but like here, like just here, is 3 boxes of like the Funko collection, and most of them is the Star Wars ones. But yeah, no, it's like they're all there, they're all safe here, but
we have over 100 of them.
I think we do now.
I think we can safely say we are Funko fans because we have over 100 Funkos now.
Yeah.
Like, not just Star Wars. Majority of them are Star Wars. I think at least half of them are Star Wars.
Yeah. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd say probably like 60%, 70% of Star Wars. But
Star Wars is our favourite, guys.
We love Star Wars.
Yeah. And there's so many different characters and different ones that we have to have because they go with other ones. It's a vicious cycle. If you guys are Funko collectors and you know
how it goes. But yeah, no, the Bad Batch are going to be joining our collection. Hopefully, when they arrive, hopefully soonish.
We have only just ordered them today, so
I don't know if they'll be here next episode, but
once they arrive, we'll let you know and we'll show them on the episode if they're with us. But
maybe we'll find the Hunter one and we'll have like all of the 4 of them together.
Yeah.
Because why not? No, 5 of them. Sorry.
So
I forgot. But yeah, so that's it for the personal news, really. We also, actually, one more thing, we did see Revenge of the Sith.
We did.
The other day at the cinema. Amazing. I don't know if you saw, but when the film started, I was just sat there with a smile on my face, watching that Venator and watching the ships like come down. I was like, oh, almost brought a tear to my eyes. It's like so nostalgic.
And that Venator was massive on the big screen.
And there was a bit as well when the Venator leaves Coruscant with Yoda going to Kashyyyk, where it goes over the like camera, like there's the tremor of the engines, and I could feel it. I was like, oh my god, there's like there. Could you imagine going to see it in like 4DX? Like, oh, so cool, so cool.
Who wouldn't want that?
If you guys haven't had the chance to see it in the cinema yet and you're planning to, go ahead and see it, because
it's totally worth it.
As much as you can watch it every day for your life on Disney Plus, like seeing it on that big screen with the like surround sound is like
in your recliners.
It will bring you back to that time if you saw it. Were lucky enough, like me and yourself, to see it as a kid. It's such a like special moment. And again, I don't know why, but my brain goes to like weird places. But I was watching it, and 4 out of the 5 first humans you see in the film I've met. First one you see is obviously Anakin and Ewan. Then you see Tim Morrison as Oddball. Then you see Ian McDermott as Palpatine, and then you see Christopher Lee as Count Dooku.
Yeah.
So I was like, technically, I've seen like the first 4. It was just funny. I was just like, wow.
That is cool.
I got to see more now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also we might have a Mandela effect here in Star Wars, maybe. Okay, so if you guys have seen the films, hopefully you will know that this is what we're talking about. So first thing that we noticed when Kenobi says to Anakin, sorry, don't try it.
Mhm.
And then Anakin jumps, and then obviously,
For the high ground.
yeah, and he's like jumps, and then Kenobi slices him. I thought Anakin screams from his jump
Mhm.
till he gets hit.
Mhm.
So you hear him go, ah, and then he gets hit. And then he's like, oh, like when he gets sliced. When we watched it, it was like, ah, and then like stopped halfway through the jump to him then getting sliced.
Mhm.
And then there was also, you were like, I think there's a little bit missed out there
Mhm.
where like he's like on the floor in pain before being
Because
burnt.
he sort of like looks up at Kenobi quite a few times before he goes like, "You are my brother, Anakin. I loved you." And then
Oh no, it was the first bit where he's like, "It was said you were destroyed as if not joining them." Because but it's like before he gets burnt and he's like really in pain. Like he looks pretty normal, doesn't he? And I was like, I swear that bit's missing.
It was a lot shorter.
Yeah, like a tiny little bit, like a second or something.
It was almost like straight away after he got cut. Then he
was like on the floor, like
talking to Kenobi, and then Kenobi was just like, "You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you," and he's like, "I hate you." And he picks up the lightsaber and buggers off, and like, I don't know, it was just a little bit longer in the normal.
And then I thought this was a bit weird. So in the scene when Padme is giving birth and Anakin is becoming Darth Vader and they sort of switch, I feel like they cut a little bit, tiny little bit, like, because I said to you at the cinema, I swear when the camera's like above him, you see him with his legs like being attached, like one of his legs being attached to his like lower body, and he's like screaming out. In the film, it was like, I'm pretty sure his legs were already like attached. And I was like, hey?
Yeah.
I swear, because we then watched it
on
Disney Plus, and you see his leg like be attached.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was so quick that I was like, did they cut anything? I don't know, but it was almost like a bit of a Mandela effect.
Yeah, because I was watching it and I was like, that seemed shorter. And then you were like, I swear there was a bit where they attached his leg. And then I was like, oh, did I see that? I don't know if I missed that. I don't know. So then we came back here and then I was like, oh my God, there is actually a scene where his leg's being attached. And also I feel like the whole Padme giving birth was a bit quicker as well.
That's what I said.
Like there's a few shots where it's like shot from the hallway, just seeing it sort of happen, which I feel like wasn't in the cinema version. But I was saying that like potentially it could be because of obviously the adverts and stuff, and the film can only be so long. Maybe they cut it a little bit.
I mean,
but I don't know.
Maybe
we're gonna have to watch the DVD one now because maybe they changed it on Disney Plus. I don't know.
But it's really interesting when you see the scream when Anakin screams.
Yeah,
it does seem a bit longer, doesn't it, than the film? Like
for sure.
It still cuts it before he gets sliced, but it's still longer than It was like
Yeah, it was almost just like
like an extra. Yeah.
Instead of like you know, it's hard to describe. But
audio description done by Chloe.
Yeah, I think in the cinema they just cut a few bits shorter.
Tiny little bits, but it's like
it wouldn't take anything away from the story at all.
No. But it's just like, as fans of that film, we just
I think the whole like Vader transformation was definitely quicker. But yeah, nothing against the cinema or whatever.
No, loved it. It was brought back so many memories and just re-established my love of the film. I even said to Chloe, like, one day when we get like a 4K telly, we've got a PS5, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy Revenge of the Sith on 4K. And if that is the only 4K film that we have, so be it. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Because this is the thing, most things are on like Netflix and Disney these days. So.
Yep. Anyway, so we get into today's episode. Sorry for rambling.
It's all right.
But yeah, so
we did post a picture as well on our Instagram of me pointing to the Revenge of the Sith sign at the cinema. So, and I'm my Revenge of the Sith bag, a Darth Vader top, and you were wearing your clone top.
Yep, got my Clone Trooper Will t-shirt that Chloe got for me. I love it.
But we didn't wear any helmets or anything like that because we just wanted to go and watch the film. But we did get some.
We've seen so many people like in
snacks.
costumes, and fair play to you. I mean, I would have been roasting in that
for
bloody.
sure.
Like, if I was in like some costume or something, I'd be like, I just want to enjoy the film. Just want to enjoy the film. Pass out. So yeah, getting on to some of the stuff that we missed at Celebration, we have probably the biggest thing we missed, which was Zero Company, which is a new tactics turn-based game coming next year, I believe. So it's set, I believe, in the Clone Wars, and the idea of it is basically you've got a group of like 5 characters. Like one of them seems to be like an Umbaran, one's like a Jedi, one's like a bounty hunter, one's like a clone, one's like a Mandalorian. But obviously you can customize how they look and stuff like that. But I mean, I see a lot of people saying that they're excited for it. I personally am not a big turn-based like game fan, but you know, it does seem quite cool, and I like the idea of it. I think a lot of people are just wanting more like actual like games like Fallen Order, Survivor, where you run around as a character. Everyone is wanting that.
Yeah.
But you know, this is still a cool idea. I quite like the logo. You know, the little Zero Company. So yeah. I don't really know what else to really say about it. You know,
I think they made quite a big panel of this at Star Wars Celebration because we were watching someone's experience on YouTube the other day. Their like vlog of it, and obviously because they were a content creator, they went to the panel for it and they got to speak to the creators and all that, and they got given like these hats with it on.
I'll tell you what, I would definitely wear one of those hats.
Yeah.
Right, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of gameplay as well.
Yeah, I think it looks quite fun. But yeah, we've not really seen that much of it, so.
I did see something which is quite interesting, which I think will be big next Celebration. So apparently, you know, do you remember when they announced the trailer for Star Wars Eclipse? Apparently, that game is going to come out 2027, and it is going to be at Celebration. So they're going to do like
a playthrough,
like a panel and show gameplay and talk about it, which really be really cool. Because it's like High Republic era, I believe. So
really nice.
Yeah.
I really hope they make the Knights of the Old Republic game that they announced.
Apparently, that is also still on track. Fingers crossed.
That would be so cool.
That would be very cool, wouldn't it?
Imagine Darth Revan in like PS5 graphics. How cool would that be?
Perfection. But yeah, so that was basically the big thing that we missed. There's a couple of figures. Now, we believe these were shown at Celebration from what we've seen of pictures. I think the first 2 aren't, because I think the first 2 you'll see now are a bit like, oh, Nihilus.
Yeah.
This is very cool. I am a bit of a Nihilus fan. I think you pointed it out, and I think this is early Nihilus.
Yeah.
Because if I remember my lore right, and I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading where he just like consumed so much like dark energy. He basically just ended up becoming like a robe and a mask, and like his body wasn't like physical anymore. It was just like he was just that. but clearly it's kind of a bit hard to do that with a figure.
Yeah.
Even Hot Toy, have their technical limits.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I think, is like a bit of a younger Nihilus
Mm-hmm.
when he still has his body form.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can see like eyes and like
Nose
mouth.
and mouth.
But looks a very cool figure, especially if you've got a sort of a Old Republic or like Legends collection of Hot Toys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Probably won't be getting this one, but because I think only the only two we've even like considered has been the Captain Rex and the Revan and the Anakin.
Or the Anakin,
Or the Anakin.
or the Padme.
The Padme. So
There's a few.
maybe 4. But this is still a very cool one, but just yeah. Now this is a really cool one because I think the face sculpt is incredible.
It's spot on, yeah.
So this is a Emperor Palpatine Revenge of the Sith one.
Mm-hmm.
So here he is with his normal sheath
Chancellor Bruce.
like face, and obviously he's got his red robes that we see him on and his red lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
But he does also have a different head and hands, so you can have him looking like you see him after his Force Lightning mannequin or
Once
face
more, the
facial.
Sith will rule the galaxy.
I mean, he looks so. In fairness to him, he looks so good there.
He does, yeah.
Like
that is literally
Palpatine
from Avengers. I like how they done the fingers as well with the lightning.
Yeah, so it looks like it's coming out of the fingers.
Yeah.
They've basically just sort of made them blue see-through, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at that. That is so cool. And it comes with the robe.
So you can make his...
Oh, it's so cool. It's so good.
Love that.
This just reminds me, another thing I noticed in Revenge of the Sith. I'm sure I've noticed this before, but I don't know why I paid more attention to it in the cinema. When Anakin goes to see Palpatine at the theatre, he's got the red guards there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I was like, I swear I've noticed that before, but I just paid more attention to it in the cinema when I was like, oh my God, look.
You definitely notice more things with it on the big screen.
Yeah. And the sound as well. 2 things quickly. Sorry, going back to the Revenge of the Sith, but like when Anakin goes to kill Dooku, I'm pretty sure I heard like quietly him basically be like, no, like quietly. And then when Anakin has his first dream nightmare of Padme dying in childbirth, he says, Annie, help me. And I've never noticed that before. And that is why he's so like driven to be like, oh my God, I gotta help her.
I never noticed on Kashyyyk there was that massive vent in there. Because it's so well disguised as well.
It's just there in the background.
Yeah.
But you don't normally see them like on the floor. You always see them in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. We got a Galen Erso from Rogue One. Looks so much like Mads Mikkelsen. I love this. I love this like little hollow puck of the Death Star that you can give him. I think that's quite a cool design. But like, look at the face. It's so good. Like, Hot Toys, if you're listening, can you like invite us over to like your factory or something and just show us how you come up with a face sculpt of these people and how you do it so perfectly? Like, you've even got like stubble like on the face.
I would
like
love
look
to,
at that.
I'd love to do that. Imagine sculpting one of these.
But this is your thing, like, this isn't just like one figure. This is like every figure that they send out, it looks like that. So Hot Toys, if you're listening, come message us and get us out there, because we want to see how you do it, because it's incredible. We have a K2SO from Hot Toys, from Andor. Originally, I thought they were going to be like Rogue One, But no, looks quite cool.
And he's got the light up eyes as well, which is very cool.
And he doesn't have like many scuffs on him, so obviously, he's still quite like newish.
Yeah. I mean, from Andor, it's obviously before Rogue One, so he's a bit newer.
Then we got Andor from Andor. Andor. So he comes with like 2 different blasters, I think, and like a different jacket, like you can put on the top. But like, look at this. Again, that's Diego Luna.
Yeah.
That is so good. Now, I know we go on about it every time we do a hot toy, but like the detail on it, on the face, is so good. Like, they have like Diego Luna's like little like crease, like when he like when he's concentrating, or like his marks around his eyes, like it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. That's crazy.
It's so cool.
Like, it almost looks like a picture. I know obviously the sort of hair gives it away, but like that is so on point.
For sure.
We have a range trooper from Andor, which will lead us into our next bit, but he does look quite cool.
And it was such a cool scene as well. We'll talk about that in a bit.
But yeah, I just love the look. Yeah, and it's nice that they've brought something over from Solo.
Yeah.
You know, I know they've brought over in like a sort of a different way, but technically it's the same trooper. You know, so I think that's really cool that they've done that. The helmet is like Shore Trooper, isn't it? It's just like white. And you got the like fur coat, jacket, hood. Which leads us into a Range Trooper Black Series figure. Again from Andor. Here he is with his little rocket launcher. Very cool. We have a Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Stormtrooper Jeddah Patrol repackaged figure. Is that right? Because you have this figure.
I feel like this is the same as the old packaging.
I swear it said it was a repackaged or reissued.
Reissued. So this one basically came out when Rogue One came out. I got it just because I love this Stormtrooper, like with the pauldron, because you see them everywhere. You see them on Tatooine in the originals. Like, it just means that he's like a commander. But I did quite like the little backpack as well. Like, how cute is that? You can put a little backpack on him. So that's why I bought it.
I remember.
Not anything to do with Rogue One. I like little Stormtrooper, and then
I remember when you got this.
Yeah.
I didn't even think this is going back a bit, guys. This tells you how long it is.
Yeah.
But like, I remember you got this figure, like, I think even before we were together. I do remember you getting it because it was like really cool. But yeah, it's quite interesting that they're bringing that one back.
I think because they're sort of leading everything back to Rogue One. You know, they're doing the Death Trooper Hasbro Black Series helmet. They're doing all these Andor figures, K2SO. You know, it's all sort of leading back to that. And obviously, Diego Luna said after season 2 of Andor, watch Rogue One straight away, and it'll literally like lead on to it. So I think that's potentially why they've re-released this one, and also it was probably quite a popular figure just because who doesn't want an extra Stormtrooper in their collection? And he's so cute. He's got a little backpack that you can take on and off.
It's gone camping.
You can't take off his pauldron though, from what I've experienced. I don't know.
Why would you?
Potentially you could take off his arm and that, but
why would
I don't want to do that. I like his little pauldron. He's a little commander. I actually posted this one Christmas time on the little reindeer decoration I bought. So you can see this one on our story. I don't have the little actual figure with me today, but I can maybe bring it next time and show you. But He is very cool and cute.
Very
They
cool.
re-released him.
We have a Director Krennic figure,
Andor.
Black Series. Again, very cool. The like face sculpt is spot on again. Can't really fault Hasbro with these at the minute.
No.
They are like accurate. So yeah, that's quite good. Probably if you're getting like if you've got a bit of a collection, like an Imperials.
And you could also recreate the scene from Rogue One where like you got Vader and Krennic. And he's
I'm still in charge. So yeah.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Director Krennic. Very cool.
Very nice.
So that is it for the figures. We go to.
Also, I just mentioned there is a lot of new Lego Star Wars sets coming out this Sunday because it's May the 4th.
Wait, or do they come out tomorrow? Because it's May 1st.
It might be.
I think it's tomorrow because it's 1st of the month.
But we have shown those already. There's like the Jango Fett starship. There's the Jango Fett helmet.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's so many.
Yeah.
But
there's some rumours for upcoming ones as well, which look quite cool.
There is also an offer on Funko where you buy 3 pops, you get the 4th one free for Star Wars.
I think it's
May the 4th.
I think it's Star Wars and Funko and Loungefly. So if you bought a Loungefly bag and 2 Funkos, one of the Funkos would be free. Like so it's quite cool.
It's cool.
And there's obviously double points and 4 times points on some Lego sets.
Events happening this weekend because of May the 4th. Just thought I'd mention that.
Isn't a surprise. And it's also Chloe's birthday on Saturday. So don't forget, guys, send your messages in. She needs to hear them.
You guys.
Yes, you have to. I'll send Vader after. Now, this is quite exciting. This is quite cool. So this was posted yesterday or the day before from Rosario's Instagram. And basically she's like, day 1 of Ahsoka season 2 started filming.
I read on Google last week that they'd started filming the end of March. But clearly that was wrong, so sorry for the misinformation.
I think what happened is Dave Filoni said at Star Wars Celebration when he was talking about Ahsoka, I think they said that all the sets have been built. So they are starting filming now, but like all the sets and everything is built, like they're started now. Like so technically it might have been, you might not have been wrong, it might have been like, they're building built for when the actors come in and but there she is. You can clearly see
Ahsoka.
It's Ahsoka. Very exciting.
I am very excited for Ahsoka season 2.
It's
gonna be so cool.
Yeah. So
on to today's episode.
So do you want to just sit this one out? I'll do it.
What I will say though is it started off and it said BBY 4, but I thought it was 4 BBY, like they put the number before. But anyway,
we didn't even see any Star Wars yet, and like she just immediately was like, "Dong, that's not right." And I'm like, "It's going to be a tough series to watch, isn't it? You're already picking at it." So we start.
I wasn't the biggest fan of season 1. Okay, I'll admit this series is a bit bad. A little bit.
We're getting there.
Still not my favourite series, but.
So we start with the sort of usual Andor and Star Wars like setup of like all the heads in the blue and the red.
Yep.
And the only difference with this one is the end head is B2MO, like
the little red droid that Marvel was projected out.
Yeah. That's the only difference in that. And then we had obviously the Andor title, which is like an eclipse, and then the Andor like letters come up. So we start off with, as you said, BBY 4, but then over that we hear the gonging
Mhm.
on, which is the sound of the Ferrix gong from season 1, which I thought was quite cool.
Mhm.
They also have done it with the start of 5 when it says.
Mhm.
So on the episode 4, sorry,
Mhm.
it says BBY 3, but there's like the gong again. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a gong with that, which is a nice little nod to the Ferrix slot. So we start off the season on the Sinar test facility, specifically Sinar test facility 73. And we see this like black hangar which sort of gets lit up, and this like engineer like test woman. She comes in and there's this like little sort of like Imperial probe droid with but mounted on the floor, which is quite interesting. So she tests it out and she like sort of leaves it open, and then she walks off.
I think she like scans certain parts on the ship, doesn't she? And
Yeah.
then she puts the like data pad that she scanned it on in the droid.
Yeah. But I think it's to basically be like, look, the thing is all ready to go, sort of thing. Like there's no
faults with the system.
So here we get sort of a look at it front.
It is such a cool looking ship.
It is a cool looking TIE. I will say it's quite interesting because I don't want to like pick out the group particularly because I think it's unfair on them. I think it's just a mistake by them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the people that we watch is like doing breakdowns themselves and things that you missed. They keep calling it a TIE interceptor, and it really bugs me. And I'm not going to give them like any notice on that because they're trying, they're doing what we do, but I just feel like they've said it on a couple of occasions now. They did it in the trailer breakdown. They've done it on this. I'm like, it's not a TIE interceptor. It's a TIE Avenger. It looks completely different. The TIE interceptor has basically curved all the way, sort of curved wings, not like solid.
Yeah.
And this has a different back panel, and the back of it is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a TIE Avenger because it's a test ship.
Yeah.
It's not an actual ship.
I really like this ship though. I think it looks really cool, and it is sort of, it resembles the Darth Vader one, how it's like it's got sort of curved wings on it, but also it looks more modern because it's got like the triangular.
It looks very much
angles.
like I said to you. It looks a bit like Kylo Ren's ship, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously a TIE version of it. Just in case you guys didn't know, the Sinar company is the like place where they build, and the company that does like all the TIEs. So they do the TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, TIE Advanced, which we do see as well in a minute. Chase after this, which I thought was quite cool because we see the Grand Inquisitor use them in Rebels. So quite cool. So we get a good look at it, and I think another thing what I quite like about it is it's the first time we've had a real good up close look at a TIE ship.
Yeah.
Like we don't see it a lot. Like we always see them in a hangar hovering or like flying off or flying past, but we never really get like a good up close like look at them. Like, could you imagine going into like a hangar or like like an airport, and they've got like one of these as like a model to like look at? I'd be like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah. So we see also, by the way, this TIE Avenger was first created for the TIE Fighter video game, like years ago. I can't remember what year it was, but it was like old.
So they've taken this idea from the archive.
Well, yeah, they've taken the ship from the archives, which is still quite cool though.
It's very cool.
So going on, we see that lady. I can't remember her name, but she goes to the mess hall where Andor is waiting for her in his test pilot uniform, and she's like not looking at him.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I was told not to look at you. Like I was told not to see your face. And she sort of tells him that the ship is all ready. And then her like friend comes along. I thought this was quite funny because her friend comes along and was like, "Oh, who's that?" And she's like, "Oh, he's a new test pilot. He's just sort of getting himself settled in."
And then she sort of like whispers into her ear, and then he's like, "What was that?"
She like goes off, and then he's like, "What was that?" And she was like, "She said you look cute." It's like, fair play. I mean, Diego Luna is a good-looking guy. But so we get that, and then she tells him that she's a bit nervous about this. She's like, I've made friends here, I'm happy here. And he gives her a good speech about being like, this is the start of finding yourself. You are making a difference, and he gets her to look at him to be like, look, it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite cool. And then obviously he makes his way. Oh, also as well, we do see 2 range troopers that we obviously mentioned earlier. We see them walk past. Very cool. So Cassian then makes his way to the hangar where he gets on board the TIE Avenger.
I must say his helmet looks like Jyn Erso's. Not Jyn Erso. What's that lady from Battlefront 2? Iden Verso.
I can see where you got it.
Iden Verso.
I was like, hey?
The one from Battlefront 2. It looks like her.
Yeah, from Inferno Squad.
Yeah.
Because she's got the red Imperial.
Yeah.
But the helmet is different to a TIE. I know you can't really see it, but you sort of see it here. But it is a bit different to a normal TIE pilot. Like, it's a bit thinner, I think. But we see him go up into it, and it is very metallic, and it's nice to see the inside of a TIE for a change. Like, in live action as well.
It does look so cool.
But it's also very, like, confusing. Like, it's not neat, it's he's like, what on earth am I doing here? And he starts like,
it don't even look like it's finished off, because like on this side you can see there's like panels here, and then this side they're completely missing, and you can see the wires and cable.
Well,
so
it is
I don't think it's completely finished yet.
It's a test ship, so it's not like this is the only one of it, really, So he then obviously starts like flicking things, and he finally like turns on the engine, which then also like brings up the seat and the 2 controls.
Yeah, because you see him sort of like trying to pull up the seat, and he's like, huh? So then he sits on it, and then he pushes some button, and then the back of the seat sort of like comes up.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
But then he basically accidentally, like, he opens the hangar, but then he just can't control it at all. So he ends up like crashing into the wall, firing the laser out of the hangar, and the hangar doors start to close, and the sirens are going off.
Because obviously they're like, what is happening here? There's alarm bells going off, because they got a TIE fighter there, so say being tested by a pilot, but if he's a pilot, he should know how to fly it. So then they're like, hold on, there's someone here that doesn't know how to fly the TIE fighter. So
I will say though,
come.
I love this particular shot, the way that it's shot. Now I know this is like during the alarm, but the fact that it's like the lights of the red alarm going off has made the stormtroopers like red. Like, these are the stormtroopers that have run into the hangar, and at first I'm a bit like, what on earth is going on here? Because the thing's like,
it is such a cool scene.
And then sort of Cassian sort of gets a grip with the controls a bit, and he finds the turbo laser, and he's like mows them all down. And then he sort of turns around
to like face the doors.
Yeah, so here he is, sort of getting a grip with the controls. Then we see him turn around, and like a missile comes at him, and he's like, moves out the way, and it's a range trooper with a like rocket launcher. And it just looks very cool. And I love this shot of like Cassian like looking at it like, huh?
He's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do here?
So while the rocket launcher is reloading, Cassian gets like a lock on to him.
It's honestly like Battlefront.
Yeah.
You get the little red things around him, like the targeting.
So the like blue, the sort of main screen.
You can even like see it on Andor's like face.
Yeah.
Like the little target. It's just like video games. It's so cool.
But it's really cool because it sort of locks onto him. Yeah, miles away.
Okay.
So it locks onto him.
So it knows where to aim.
And then Cassian tries pulling the trigger. Nothing happens. And he's like, ah. But the like turbo laser, like underneath, instead of being like a Gatling gun, sort of like, just lets off one big blast. So there we see the range trooper in the thing, just in case you wondered.
Okay, cool.
And that is basically the aftermath.
So he just blasts a hole.
There is a massive hole through the door.
No more range trooper.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But then we get sort of like a shot of like the hangar from outside.
Yeah. And
like Cassian's like shooting, and then finally like blasts through it. Then he gets pursued by like 2 TIE advanced V1s. And then he manages to destroy them and get his sort of bearings with the ship. Flies off. Then we cut, very creepy bit, this bit. Then we cut to a new planet, but we see, sorry, we'll come back to that. So we see this sort of camper glamping, as me and you called it.
Yeah.
Star Wars glamping at night. And the camera like makes its way on in, and we sort of see that people are like we're going through the perspective of someone.
Yeah.
Like entering the home. And then we get this really creepy bit where it comes to like a mirror, and we see Dr. Ghost from season 1 who tortured Bix. So it's like he's entered this home, and then he sort of goes over to like where Bix is sleeping, and he's like goes to touch her foot, and she's like gets up,
wakes up from a dream. It's not him. It's the other people.
Brasso and Willman come over, and they're like, "It's okay, it's okay." So it's a nightmare. He's not here. I was like, "Thank God for that."
Yep.
But yeah, Star Wars glamping. It's the future. I think this is going to be a new experience at Star Wars Disneyland.
Yeah.
They're just going to set up these little tents.
Could you imagine?
This is quite cool, mind. We do also see as well. We see what was his name? B2MO. We see him there, and he's asking about Cassian, being like, "When's Cassian coming home?" Which is quite cool. And we also then get a sort of our first look at Mina Rao, which shut everyone up who thought this was Lothal, and everyone who thought this was Dantooine. It's not. It's his own planet, Mina Rao. So it's a very.
There's a lot of planets with crops on.
Yeah, it's a wheat-filled like planet. Well, this area is. We do see that, like, we see a little bit later how they identify areas on Mina Rao. we also get this scene where Bix and Wilman are like fixing some sort of pump, and this local girl is like coming all the way over to see Wilman. It's like, oh, she likes you, mate. Just saying, and Bix sort of teases him about it. But then here you can see they've noticed something coming into the atmosphere, and it is an Imperial transport ship.
Oh dear.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Then we cut to a new planet, Chandrila. And we get this really cool one take of Mon meeting guests and like making her way down from like the entrance.
This lady in the background looks a bit like Padme from Genosis.
What's she doing?
Can you imagine? She crashing the party.
That'd be a bit weird, but
yeah.
But we get these moments of like Mon like being fake happy with guests to like concerned because she's seen someone. She's like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah. So she's making her way down to him, which we do learn is Luthen. Rocking his wonderful wig. Yeah. Very, very stylish outfit. Yeah. We do also meet in this guy who
looks a bit like Elvis.
Yes. Who is actually Erskine Sarange, who is one of like Mon Mothma's like loyal aides, and we do actually see him with Mon Mothma in Rebels.
In Star Wars Rebels.
So there's a Rebels connection for you, which is very cool. We also see this guy here. That is Tay Colmer, who is sort of Mon's previous lover. It's a bit of a scandal. But he also like sort of deals with like her money. So he's like hiding it and like moving it around for her. But we see he's not as pleasant as we realise as the episodes go on. So we also, before we get to that bit, we then go back to Mina Rao, where we see this like mound of like hill in between the wheats, and it has like a number on it. I think it's 436. And basically that's how you work out areas on Mina Rao. So you got like, this is the 456 area, and they learn that the Imperials are in the like 500 block, so they're within
almost like different house numbers, but different
postcodes, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
but they're in the area. So, yeah. So they're a little bit wary. They know that the Imperials are around. We see Andor land the TIE Avenger on a like jungle planet. Not going to spoil it just yet, but I called it, didn't I?
You were like, "Where is that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
And I was like,
"You're
"It's
like,
there."
Jungle planet. And I was like, "I don't know what you're trying to ask me. I don't know if I've seen this planet before." And I was like, "Kashyyyk? I don't know." And he was like, "No."
No.
But anyway, we'll tell you in a second.
It's fine, but I did say it from the start, didn't I? I was like, I know what that is.
Yeah. You called it.
So basically Andor lands here, and his point, or the point of him landing here, is to meet up with another pilot who's then going to take the ship to the Rebels like main base or whatever. But for some reason the pilot isn't around. And there's a group of survivors that are all hidden in the forest with their guns on Andor, and they're like, "Chuck the blaster, there's 15 of us." And he's like, "Shut up, not meant to tell him there's 15 of us."
Yeah.
So they're not the like most skilled, but obviously they're out there in numbers. So they capture Andor, and it turns out that they are members of the Maya Pei Brigade, which is like a rebel group. So these lot are neo-republicans. So I think the best way to describe these, from what I've heard, they're not exactly like rebels, like Sol Guerrera or like the typical rebels, but they're like, they want to restore the Republic instead of, they want to get rid of the Empire and bring back the Republic. But they're like idealists, really. Like, but anyway, they've been left here by and betrayed, and after like conflict. But yeah, this group is mentioned by Saul Guerrero to Luthen in episode in season 1, where he's like, Maya Pay, New Republicans. I thought that was quite good. But yeah, so there's that. Then we go to so here we have them debating whether to shoot Andor.
And he's like, no, I'm supposed to meet someone here.
And they're like, yeah, we killed him. He ran. And they're like, you idiot.
Essentially, what he was trying to do was bring the TIE Avenger to this planet, which we'll tell you in a second what it is. Meet up with this guy, and they were going to exchange the ship. So he was going to give the TIE Avenger to him for a different ship. But
and he calls out Porky.
And they've killed him. So he's like, great, what am I going to do now?
And he calls out Porky, I think, as well. So people are like, oh, could it be Porkins from A New Hope? But we don't know.
Ooh.
It can't be, because Porkins is obviously alive in A New Hope. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he dies in the Death Star trends.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after sort of debating whether to kill him or not, he's like, I'm the only one that can fly this thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do it.
Because they're all like sort of going on the TIE fighter, and they're like, look how small it is. Not all of us can fit on here, you know?
Yeah, so they don't know what to do with it, and they don't know how to fly it either.
No.
So then we go to the where was it? The Malphine Divide. I think that pronounced it right. Malphine Divide. Where there is a secret meeting. There's a secret like compound meeting. It's a bit like the meeting that they have in the Band Batch when Tech dies, like on top of a mountain, snowy, sort of like right out the way. And it's being hosted by Director Krennic, which I thought was quite cool. And really interestingly, this meeting, he says, Yularen and Tarkin, who are basically the other two highest sort of members, really, of the like Imperials, apart from obviously Palpatine and that, don't know about this meeting, and they will be told about it when the Emperor chooses, which I thought was really interesting, because it clearly shows that the Emperor must trust Krennic if he's being given this much like power and secrecy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we get a little promotional video about the Gorman planet and people, how they do like they have these spiders which do the silk and the like outfits and clothing, like most of it is. But then Krennic basically talks about like there's a mineral there that is more valuable to us. Kelphite, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Which is like he wants to use for the lenses of the reactors for the Death Star. So clearly this Kelphite is a valuable resource. But he also says about how it will basically destroy the planet and how they're going to handle getting rid of the Gormans and how they're going to keep it like...
Yeah.
But there is a little unlimited power reference, which I thought was quite funny, because the Emperor wants to do a like unlimited power energy situation. So yeah, then we get the like two guys from the Ministry of Enlightenment who are basically like the Imperial propaganda they're here to be like, oh, there was a Imperial who died due to Gorman something, and it's all Gorman's fault. Basically, make the Gormans out as bad people. Bit like another group did in history, but we're not going to go on about that.
I did sort of say to you when I saw this that it's very similar to a scene in The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, where they're watching like an old video to make something out to be better than what it is. But we won't go into that.
Yeah.
But obviously that is the general.
That is the idea of it, an inspiration.
Idea of the Empire, that they're supposed to be like this organization from history. But
yeah. We also get a bit of a almost like an engagement party as well. But before we go to the engagement party, we see them sort of chatting amongst themselves how are they going to handle this. And he asks Dedra, who is at the meeting, basically being like, what would you do? And she's like, I'd basically use Gorman rebels as an excuse. And he's like, I like that. Know what you did there? I want your martini. But she's not interested in it really. You can see in her attitude she's not. But then we go to like you said, it was like an engagement party sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of Mon Mothma's daughter and her soon-to-be husband. His name is Stecken, but not very nice family.
No.
And we see that Luthen is like talking to a new Imperial like recruit at one of the shipyards, and he's like, "Oh, really? Like, where's everyone going?" Like he's like so curious, but trying to be like, "I'm so naive, I don't know anything." And then we see the group of survivors are basically still squabbling, and then they're hungry, and then one of them shoots.
I'm not gonna lie, that bit did annoy me. I'm just being honest, okay? They're on the same side, and they're shooting at each other and squabbling, and it just went on for quite a while. Just putting it out there. But there you go. That's just my opinion.
Well, they are hungry, and they are trapped on a planet, and they don't know what to do.
To be fair, when you're hungry, you do get angry.
Yes, and there is also a lot of opinionated people there, and it all boils over. One of them gets shot. The groups sort of split up. One group heads towards like the tie, but they're shooting at the other. And the other group.
And Andor's just like, why am I stuck in this mess?
And then the other group takes Andor.
Come to this planet.
And then the other group takes Andor, and they run back to like the crashed ship. The other side is like open plain bit. So yeah, and that's how it ends with like a blaster bolt sort of going over Andor's like back into the screen, being like, as if like you've been hit. So then episode 2, we see the sort of group of survivors are looking for the body of the person that got shot, that started it, and one of them of the one group finds a leg, and the other one finds goggles, and then they start shooting at each other, and she shouts out "Ichuta," which we've heard a lot of in Star Wars.
I distinctly remember that one from Jabba's Palace when Bib Fortuna says it. Is it Bib Fortuna that says it? Someone says it in Jabba's Palace. I remember that.
Okay, interesting. I can't remember that. I remember it as C-3PO on Bespin when the door opens and there's another C-3PO and he's like, "Oh, nice to see a familiar face." Ichuta.
Yeah, that might be where I knew it was somewhere. But if it's said more than once, it might
it's probably said a lot. Ichuta.
Now you say that,
So then basically Andor being like to be very honest, the smartest one alive in
For sure.
this group. By
I mean, maybe he's not as starving as the others.
So no, but
maybe
he just seems to have his wits. Like, he has this little bowl in front of, like, they've tied him up, but he's got this bowl and there's like a hole in the roof and it's collecting water and he's like drinking from it. So he's got a drink. Like, we also see in one point in the episode, he's also like catching rainwater. He's so switched on. And basically the groups are trying to decide like what to do, still squabbling.
Squabble way too much.
They did squabble a lot. And then we see that they sort of try turning the TIE, because they've learned how to shoot the TIE Avenger. They've come up with this plan of like turning it to shoot at the survivors, which I thought was quite funny. Because it's like, if you know how to fire a weapon, you might as well turn it and shoot it at the opposition.
Yeah.
So then we go and see Dedra and her boss back on Coruscant after their secret meeting. And he's like, Krennic wanted you, didn't he? And she's like, yep, I got the Gorman job. But she's like, I don't want it. I want to hunt down Axis, who is what is the Imperial code name for Luthen, who is like running all these like rebel connections.
Yep.
But she wants to like find him and Andor. But he's like, no, we're working with Director Krennic now. We've got to do it. So we then see Cyril, good old Cyril, and he's at I can't remember what it's called, but it's the Bureau. It's basically like I don't know what company, how you compare it to a company in real life, but it's like an information company.
Yeah.
But it's the Bureau of something, but it's not very important. And he's showing a new guy around. He's like, I did this. This is results. So he's clearly got like a management position now. We also go back to Mineral, where we see the Imperials come to one of the like little huts, and they're doing a sort of an inspection. But Bix is by herself, fixing some like generator. Oh, and we get this slimy Imperial.
I can't stand him.
Do you know what? And they've done it. I bet they've done this on purpose. Who is the most hated person? One of the most hated characters in Star Wars.
Crow.
Yes. Do you know what this lieutenant name is called?
Lieutenant Crow.
Lieutenant Cruel.
Ah.
So
yeah,
it's very similar, and it makes sense. And he starts hitting on Bix, and he's like, "What are you doing out here?"
Yeah.
And it's very creepy.
He's asking a lot of questions to her, and like,
but they're really inappropriate. And it's just like, don't like that, mate.
A bit too much information. She's just trying to like get rid of him.
And she's like, "Oh, my husband to be here soon."
Yeah.
He's like,
"Oh, where is he?
Where is he? Where is he?
Oh, he's flown off world." Okay, when's he back? Like, it's all these stupid questions.
And then luckily,
like, bugger off.
Brasso turns up. Thank God.
Yes.
And he's like, right, and Krill's like, oh,
hello.
I'll leave you alone, then. He's like, I'll see you around. Because he's trying to take her out to like dinner in the nearest town. It's like, no, go away.
No.
Go away.
It's not the last we see of him either.
No, sadly not. But then we do see
Dedra
and Cyril.
Thing.
And they have a home. They have a very clean.
I mean, Cyril is for sure OCD.
Yeah.
So.
And Dedra is like a perfectionist anyway. Yeah. So their house is like minimalist, imperial, white. Not a lot of like stuff on the side, if anything. Like, there's no decorations.
100 Funkos.
Oh
They'd be
my
like,
God.
no.
He'd be like,
They don't
I
go
can't,
with
I
my
can't do it.
decor.
I can't do this. I can't deal with it. And we see like they seem happy together, but because of the way they are, they have this very weird relationship. To us, it's weird, but to them, they're happy. And then we sort of get a what would you call it? Like a wedding, pre-wedding toast, like speech by Mon Mothma's husband, like talking about the festivities and all that. We do also see that like her Tay Kalma speak to Mon and basically be like, I know what you're doing, you're giving it to the rebels. He's like, I'm not really scared anymore. But Luthen is like watching, and it's like, he knows. And then we get the dad does Sagromatima toast. It's like Sagromatima.
Okay.
It's like basically like toast, cheers in Star Wars. And Anakin and Kenobi say it in the episode where they're like, Sagromatima.
I remember the exact thing in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Where they both sit at the bar and grab a drink.
Yeah. So famous Star Wars thing there. We also then see that Clea, Luthen's assistant, has gone back to Coruscant. And we see the shop is still got some famous pieces in there. They've got the Naboo headpiece, the Plo Koon species like face mask and goggles. We see the Star Killer outfit. You also noticed in episode 5, which was another Padme headpiece.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that when we do the next one. But that was quite cool. So basically, the Andor tells the troops, the survivors in his little group, like, look, we got to go and get them. We got to get the ship and get out of it, basically.
Yeah.
So they do a thing called Ruski rules, which you think is going to be like some 1-to-1 fight to the death. But it's basically Star Wars rock, paper, scissors. And during this, Cassian sort of like sneaks out the ship and makes his way over to the TIE. But then, while they're doing this Ruski rules, we see Duda come out of nowhere and eat 3 of the group. Like, just comes in, he's like,
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Didn't see that coming.
Nope.
So, looks a very creepy animal as well, by the way. So the Duda comes in, causes havoc, and then we see Andor make it back to the TIE Avenger. Yay. And they're all like shooting at him like, no,
leave us there.
What are you doing?
And he's like, you held me hostage long enough.
Yeah, I'm getting out of it. So he flies off, and we find out what the planet was. Yavin.
It's Yavin 4.
I thought, and I said that as soon as I saw him land. I was like, that's Yavin 4. I bet it's Yavin 4.
And I was just thinking, like, what planet has trees? Why are
you were like
going
Kashyyyk.
on so much about this planet?
You were like Kashyyyk, and then you were like Endor. I was like, what are you chatting? What are you chatting? And I was like, no, it's Yavin 4. And then obviously we see the temples. And it's like, it's clearly Yavin 4.
It looks very much like the sort of Mayan pyramids.
Very interesting, though, when you think about it. We don't know here, looking at this show, we don't know if the rebels have set up a base, like the main base on Yavin yet.
Probably not.
I said to you, imagine if it's Andor who basically tells the rebels
to go there.
We're going to set up base on Yavin 4. That would be really cool. And it's a bloody TIE ship on Yavin 4.
Yeah.
That's weird as well, isn't it? But
Yeah.
very cool. So that's how we end episode 2. So episode 3, we see Cassian flying around in space, and he's trying to contact Clea. No, sorry, he's trying to get the radio going, and he accidentally hits the like engine thing. He's like flying off. Then we see like a sort of community gathering on Mineral, and we see like Bix, Wilman.
There's like a sort of cow
Yeah,
thing
here
in the
he is in the
background.
Very cool.
Also very cool, and he was like what they call it, like a puppet, like real life effects, not CGI or anything.
Very
so
cool.
I thought that was very cool.
We see some kids running around. One of them has a toy bowcaster, so he's been hanging around with the Wookiees.
Yep.
This bit I thought was quite funny though. So Brasso is having a chat with let me just find his name. Kellen is basically like a sympathizer from Mineral who's like almost taken them in and like looks after them a bit. But he's like, look, the Imperials are coming to this section. Like, I've got you emergency work permits to do some work in section 800. Like, come back tonight after you're done or whatever. And obviously Bix is like watching on. But I love this little girl next to her has a little puppet of an ATST. It's just like, whee! That's literally like.
She got like a helmet on her head that looks kind of like a stormtrooper or something.
Oh yeah. It's
quite. I reckon she's secretly a Empire fan.
But I just love the fact that like, okay, the Empire aren't very good people. But this little girl has got basically like the equivalent of like us with like a car or a ship being like, oh,
yeah,
like flying it. I was like, well, she seems happy.
I mean, clearly she's young and she doesn't understand that obviously the Empire's bad. Really, she shouldn't be playing with this toy. But also, it makes them look more innocent to the Empire when they arrive there. Like, say she had like a X-wing or something, like a lightsaber, they'd be like, what, why you got that toy? But if she's playing with a little ATST walker, they're gonna think, oh, these people are alright with us, you know.
I don't think you're gonna find one of these in Smith's or Toys R Us.
No, sadly not.
Could you imagine if they did? That'd be quite funny.
That would be funny.
Like your own puppet ATST.
Yeah.
So then we get this quite moving bit as well. Oh, also I've missed some 2 major bits. Okay. So in episode, obviously Tay Colmer is obviously threatening Mon Mothma, basically being like, look, I know what you're doing. Luthen's like tells her in secret, basically like, I'm going to sort it out. Basically, like, end him. And as it sort of, as I think it ends the episode with him getting in his shuttle to go home, and Cinna, like from season 1, is actually working as like his replacement thing to kill him. And I was like, oh. And Mon's cousin sees her, and it's all like, oh, it's all drama. Also, I want to point out in season episode 2, I think her name's Lita. Lita. She's like, I had a fight, or they had their first fight.
Yeah.
And so Mon goes after her, and she's like, oh, he went on my hand. He's a child. Like, oh dear. Oh dear. But then we get this really emotional scene. Yeah. We get this just before the ceremony of her in a dress, and Mon gives her this speech basically saying, my mum was drunk when I got married. I was furious at her. And then she's like, you don't have to do it. We could just tell everyone thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Basically being like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And she looks at Mon and is like, I wish you were drunk. Oh my god. I felt that there. She didn't want that.
No.
And then obviously Mon like composes herself. She like works her turn and she's like, you stand behind me. And then they start the wedding ceremony. Very fun. Bit of a weird wedding, but hey, this is a Chandrilla.
It is very like cultural wedding, I think. Like it's all arranged and it's a thing that's going on all day, and like there's this sort of scene, I think it's this scene here, isn't it, where like he cuts off one of her braids.
He cuts the other like braid off
because she's got like one short braid and one long one, so he cuts the other braid off. But it's like
he gets the knife from Mon's husband and he's like, I will take this knife, and he's like, do what you want with it. Or he's like, I will not be returning this knife. And he's like, no, do what you want with it, sort of thing. Cuts the braid.
It is very like different to a traditional wedding. Yeah. Like this isn't even.
I think it's like combination of like different cultural weddings, like Japanese and like Greek. I think some elements.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then we see Dedra setting the table for the meal with Cyril's mother coming over, or she's a bitch. And then obviously she turns up and he's like, we don't have to do it. And she's like, we're doing it. She turns up and she's like, hi, nice to finally meet you. And she's like, finally. And she's just being like really condescending and really mean. I think it's really annoying. And then Cassian gets hold of Claire and is like,
I've been floating upside down for hours.
Yes. Like, this is so annoying. And then she basically tells him like not to go home yet because there's Imperial.
He's like, what do you mean I'll go home?
And she's like, don't do it. And he's like, hangs up and flies to Mineral.
Yep.
We see the like hyperspace as well, which is very cool. So this tie has its own hyperspace, which is very cool. We obviously then see the like meal with Cyril's mum, where she's being really annoying and like making Cyril look bad. So he's like, excuse me, and he goes and like lies
really
on the bed.
Embarrassed.
Like he goes and lies on the bed. And
like...
Dedra, in fairness to her, she's like, if you want to see your husband, if you want to see your son, you're going to see him when I say so. You're going to treat him with respect. And like, she's like, okay. Like she puts her right in her place.
I mean, she's an Imperial, so like.
I know, but like, she like puts her straight.
Yeah.
Cyril comes back and she's like, oh, I'm so happy you got your 2 promotions. And he's like, oh, thank you. It's like, well done, Dedra.
Change the tune, yeah.
Well done, Dedra. And she also says she was raised in an Imperial Kinderblock, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, because there's a bit where Cyril's mum asks like how she grew up, and she's like, I don't know, my parents, like, they were criminals. I grew up in the Imperial Kinderblock. And she was like, oh, but you wouldn't have like your mother's love and stuff like this. And she's like, we didn't know any different. This is what we were used to. Anyway.
This was really interesting. So the reason basically Luthen is there, apart from being like a bit of a spy, he's sold Skellen's dad this very important statue of like a relic that he's got his hands on. So this is a famous statue, one of 12, which was stolen 25,000 years ago. When this is so cool. When Chandrilla was sacked by the Rakatan Empire. we get more confirmation of the Rakatan Empire in Star Wars. I love it. Basically, they were first introduced in the Old Republic, and they're basically like they were this empire before, like 25,000 years ago, and they basically had the whole galaxy as like slavery, basically, and the galaxy rose up and defeated them. But it's always been like their legend because it was like part before the Disney takeover.
Mm-hmm.
But this is twice now in Andor that they have been like brought up as like an actual thing.
Yeah.
So I think they're making their way into it, which I thought was really cool. So this is like the after party of the wedding, or like, yeah. So everyone's sort of getting on and, you know, having a bit of a party and a good time. Mon's not very happy.
She keeps drinking all these drinks.
Because Luthen sort of said to her that he's going to take care of Tay because he's getting too nosy, like. And her daughter's just got married and she didn't want it. DJ Droid turns up, playing the bangers.
This is so smart. Like, it's like a disco ball, but there's also a speaker and there's also a droid.
Yeah.
How creative is that?
It's so cool.
I want a DJ droid. Could you imagine that? Like, it's like an Alexa, isn't it? Alexa, play this song and dance about the room with flashing colours, and then it's just...
And everyone starts going crazy. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go party. Everyone starts dancing a bit.
This is literally like Andor Alexa. Star Wars Alexa.
I love it.
There you go.
So then, basically, the Imperials, we go back to Mina Rao, and the Imperials turn up at the area where Brasso is with Bix is at home. Brasso is at the store with the Imperials turn up with like stormtroopers, and Wilman is in the like fields with the local girl.
Yep.
And the reason Brasso has gone there is because Brasso's not home. Like Wilman isn't home, so he's gone to find him because they're like, we got to leave.
Yeah.
He gets caught by the Imperials, being like, I've got one. What's this one doing?
He's like, great.
So then he basically helps Kellen by like charging at him, being like, you sold us out.
Yeah. Basically
trying to make it out as like, oh, he's a good guy. He's not a rebel sympathizer. So he like saves him, which was really good by Brasso. Meanwhile,
obviously Bix is at home on her own in the glamping tent.
Yeah. Lieutenant Cruel, I'm pretty sure his name is Lieutenant Cruel, turns up with his driver, and he enters the home. He's like, knock knock or something, and he comes in and he starts hitting on Bix.
I get lonely doing all this Imperial work. I would really like a massage and all this stuff.
Oh, it makes me cringe. But obviously Wilman has like seen that the Imperials are around, so he like runs through the forest back home. He tries basically getting it on because we can't. I don't really want to go into too much detail because it's not nice, but basically tries getting it on with Bix. She says no. She fights back, which I love. I love to see that. Yep. And I'm glad that they showed it in Star Wars, being like, the Imperials just can't get away with everything, and that it is a real thing. It's not like a made up thing.
No.
She bashes him around the head, and he like stumbles out, and the driver comes to see, and he sort of like falls out the door and dies. But then the guy's like, we got trouble over here. So like the Imperials.
I saw someone point something out which I thought was quite interesting. Obviously, she's screaming a lot because she's like screaming out for help and like, get off me sort of thing. The driver that's sat in this Imperial speeder, he doesn't react at all until the Imperial starts screaming because she's whacked him.
Yep.
And then he's all of a sudden like, boss, you alright? Sort of thing. And that's when he goes in. So it just goes to show how like horrible they are. They don't care if anyone else is in pain. Like, they only react to themselves.
Yep. So he's like, we got trouble here, we got trouble. So like the Imperials and Stormtroopers like start leaving to go over here. Wilman turns up and like they both start like shooting at each other, and then Bix like shoots him, and so the Lieutenant Crew and the driver are now both dead.
Yeah.
But Brasso is now on his way back home, going through the fields, and some of the Stormtroopers are like, get him!
Yeah.
Start like shooting at him. Andor comes out of hyperspace, comes down, is like flies overhead, and using the targeting like blows up the Imperials.
And then she can see him in the sky, and then she's like, "There's a TIE fighter. It's got to be Andor."
Yeah. And we see this. So Brasso's on his speeder, like driving away from the Stormtroopers, and this one Stormtrooper's like he's got like dead eye or something. You know, he's got that slow mo vision. He's got his aim in. He's had his cereal. He knows what he's doing, and Cassian like takes them all out, and he shoots at the like silo thing. It comes down and drops, like, kills all the Stormtroopers, like, buries them in wheat
from the canister.
But unfortunately, it's too late.
And Brasso is gone.
Brasso has been shot off the speeder and is dead. So, oh, Brasso!
I said to you, maybe that Stormtrooper was like a leftover clone. Because Stormtroopers are known for missing when they shoot, right? Clones, on the other hand, are very accurate. So
we're going with the idea.
This is my fan theory. Maybe he was a clone, and that just makes it even worse.
Well, let's not think about it.
Yeah.
But it was a clone. But yeah. So Cassian lands, and he's like has his little moment with the body of Brasso, and then he runs over to Bix and Wilman. He gives Bix a big hug.
Yeah. I think she's just so thankful that he's finally there. Like, she's been waiting for days for him to come back. Like,
but then you had obviously Brasso, and she's like, "Where's Brasso?" And he's like, "Oh."
And then she gets upset, and he's like, "Just come with me.
We got to go. We got to go now." So they get in the TIE Avenger, and they fly off. And we have this sort of like cuts of like leaving the body, and the party. Like, it keeps cutting. But we see Mon Mothma. She's having a couple of drinks, letting her hair down, and she's like,
she's dancing away at this party.
DJ Droid is playing her favorite tunes. She's like, "This is my jam."
Quite a banger. And
also, actually, that reminds me. I just got to remind. I got to go. I got to say it.
Okay.
There's a bit where they're like, do, 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 and they're like, Niamos, which is the planet which Cassian gets arrested on, where it was like a beach resort and they had like some good music. He gets arrested there, which is Niamos, and it's basically like the Star Wars Miami.
Yeah.
So it's basically us being like, Miami, but they're all like, Niamos. And we've actually heard this like remix like multiple times in season 1. When he was on the beach in Niamos, when he was like in the bar in the first episode, and something else. Basically, we've heard like 3 different remixes of it. Cool. But yeah, so Niamos.
Also, just thought I'd point out there,
Niamos.
Star Wars have on their YouTube channel, they have created a compilation of Mon Mothma dancing for an entire hour with this music. So it's just the scenes of her dancing away. for a whole entire hour on the official Star Wars YouTube
Yeah.
page. So there you
Genevieve O'Reilly goes off in this scene. She just like let her hair down. She was like, "I'm going for it. I've got no worries now. Let it go." And in fairness, it is quite a scene because you wouldn't expect to see her like just going for it.
Yep.
And that's how it ends. The first 3 episodes.
I think this episode was probably my favourite so far.
Mhm.
I mean, there were some sort of darker scenes in it. However, the wedding scene and, you know, there was a lot in it that I thought was really effective. There was a lot of stormtroopers, and then obviously there was a lot of sad scenes as well, but there was a lot going on in this episode, and I think this one was probably my favourite to watch so far.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. Obviously, we will be doing episode 4, 5, 6 next episode. We still haven't even finished them yet.
Yes.
So
they only came out this morning, so you have to bear with us, guys.
Yes.
But we'll be back in a few days to break this.
So I know it's been a bit of a longer episode. Do apologise about that. But we're going to do Troopers of the Week quickly. Should we do Meme of the Week first and then do
Meme of the Week?
We're sticking with the Andor one. You found this one.
When someone questions your loyalty to Star Wars, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. For us, it's been longer than that, but definitely since I was 5. I don't remember much before then, but I remember Revenge of the Sith came out, and I just wanted every single Anakin, Darth Vader toy that was ever released.
Yep.
And I used to go to like Toys R Us when that was around.
It's a magical place we're on our way down. It's called Toys R Us.
Not sponsored by Toys R Us.
From Toys R Us. The Darth Vader FX helmet.
Yes. I had every single Darth Vader toy when I was a kid. I had the lightsaber.
Didn't we?
It's just so cool. So yeah, I like this meme because we've all been in this fight since we were 6 years old, or even younger.
And also, it's relevant because obviously
it's Andor.
It's Andor. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Yes,
so good.
And we are definitely loyal to Star Wars. We don't need anyone questioning us about
it.
No one. We've got a podcast about it. So let's go into Troopers of the Week.
So I do mine.
Yeah.
Mine is a very well-known guy. He does a Palpatine cosplay. I think he does other cosplays. He's very well known. It's BJ Wimpy. I followed this guy. I'm pretty sure I've made him a Trooper of the Week in the past. He's so good and he's so funny as well. But he's gone to the cinema with a 501st Kylo Ren and Vader. And I'm pretty sure we think that Vader could be our friend Alpine, possibly.
Yes.
If it is, and you're watching this or listening to this, Alpine, let us know. So I'll show you it here. He's like gone to the cinema. And he's like,
got his bucket and his cup.
And he's like, oh, it's so good going to the cinema with the family.
Yep.
And he's like, ha 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 ha. And then he does a photo. He's like angry. And then it's like
excited. And then he's like sipping from the cup as well. In another one.
Him with the poster. And he's like, whoa. Sipping from...
I love it.
So again, we've made him a Troop of the Week before, but like, it was really funny. And also the fact that could be our friend Alpine.
Yeah.
So shout out to...
And who doesn't get excited when you go in the cinema, you watch your Revenge of the Sith, it's like the best one.
Yeah.
Love it. Mine is something else, Revenge of the Sith.
Of course.
It's someone called Morg Hall on TikTok, and it's like, it starts off a bit of a joke. So it's like learning how to draw. And then it's like, this is my reference. So obviously it's Anakin with like the tear running down his eye. And then it sort of looks a bit bad. And it's like, done. Oh, wait. And then it sort of starts tearing in the middle. And then the real picture is behind it. And it's absolutely amazing. Look at this Anakin picture.
It's so cool.
Such a talented, like, drawing.
Love it. I love that photo anyway. Like,
I know.
da-da-da-da-da-da.
So I just thought I'd make that my trigger of the week because that was so impressive. Like, I was flicking through and I was thinking, that didn't look that great. And then was like, oh wait, there's more.
Yep.
Um.
Very cool.
So yeah, I thought that was creative and very cool work.
Very good. 2 good troopers of the week now. Did you name yours?
Yes, more cool.
That was it. Don't know why I went blank about mine. Now, obviously, next episode we will be doing 4, 5, and 6, but we do know that Sunday also Tales of the Underworld come out. So we've got a couple of busy ones. So what we will probably do, it's not guaranteed, so don't quote us on this, but it looks like we'll probably do an episode on Sunday, which will be 4, 5, and 6 of Andor, and then in the week we'll do Tales of the Underworld, and then Sunday we'll do like 6, 7, 9. Wait, no, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we've got a couple of busy weeks coming up with the podcast, so stick around.
It's because they bring out 3 episodes on the same day, which is amazing because it's like, yay, we don't have to wait. Because they always leave you on a cliffhanger, don't they? And then you're like, oh great, I've got to wait till next week. So it is quite cool how they've released 3 in a row. However, that makes it.
But you've also got Tales of the Underworld coming as well, so it's like. But I think that'll be done in like 1 week, so because all the episodes will be out all together, I think. So, so yeah. Also, I'm just gonna give it one last try, just in case. But to any of our American listeners, if you can get hold of a popcorn bucket tin or cup
for Revenge of the Sith,
please get in touch with us because we would like to buy it. But please get in touch with us. Again, it's a long shot. We put it on our story just to be like, look, we want something with this poster because I love it and I want it on my wall.
Basically, we absolutely love Matt Ferguson's like artwork of the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
It's incredible.
And we've seen it all over our TikTok pages, on cups, on buckets, posters. He was even doing a sign-in at one of the Cineworlds. But we've been in touch with so many cinemas that are by us. We're like, do you have any of the Revenge of the Sith merch? Like any cups, buckets, or anything?
Nothing.
Not even little posters, which they did for Return of the Jedi. And yeah, we just really want them. But it seems like you can't get them anywhere in the UK, and everyone is like wondering where you can get these from. But we've looked online, we've looked on like TikTok and stuff, and it's like either in Germany or in America, and we can't get a hold of them in the UK. And I don't know why, because this poster is so cool. Like, we love Revenge of the Sith.
And also really, like, I actually commented on his release post today, but he's released the posters from a website that you can buy them. But it's in America. So even as I speak, you can buy the poster, but it's... But not in the UK, it's like 30 quid postage. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Who
wants to pay £30 for delivery?
I'm like, I put on the comment, I was like, please, Matt, are you doing any UK releases? Please.
Bring it out in the UK, please. Because, I mean, he's a UK artist, so it really confuses me. Because bring it out over here.
Because there is a market for it. There is a market.
I know, because even other people are in the comments like, bring this to the UK because these posters are so cool.
So hopefully one day we will get a poster.
Yeah, essentially we want the poster, we want the cup, we want the bucket. Like, we're obsessed with this picture of Revenge of the Sith because it's so cool.
It is like my favourite poster. I love it that much.
Yeah.
Like, we were looking at possible things for the future for us in terms of like stuff around the house, and one of the things you want to get is this like mouse keyboard mat, and someone has made it, and we're like,
every time we go on TikTok or Facebook,
someone's made a Stanley Cup of it. Someone's made a
oh my god! I swear I'm going to be seeing this picture for the next 30 years of my life. Someone's
done a T-shirt with it. I'm like,
yeah,
give it to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a little.
We love this poster, and we just really want a bucket or a little sippy cup with it on. And usually, the cinema that's closest to us, usually they have all the merch. They had so much for like Wicked, Captain America, the Minecraft movie. They have it all the time. And then we went there for Revenge of the Sith, and all they had was a poster on the wall, and that was it. They didn't hand out any posters. They didn't have any buckets, cups. We asked them like when it first came out. We asked them the other day in case they got any.
We asked at a cinema in town. We asked at we asked someone who works at another branch of a cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
No.
So we're still trying. So we'll just put that little
plea. If any of you guys are from the UK and you've managed to get your hands on any of the 20th anniversary Revenge of the Sith merch, let us know where from, because we will go to that cinema.
Yeah, and to try also, and get it. If not any of our US listeners or viewers, let us know if you can help us, because if you can, we're willing to sort something out, aren't we?
Yes.
And we will be eternally
grateful. Send you something back.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it be like a Funko or something, I don't
know. But yeah, so that's it from us, guys. Thank you for listening. We know it's been a bit of a long one, but 3 episodes of Andor and a lot to catch up on. Mm-hmm. So bear with us. But yeah, we will see you on the next episode. So from me, May the 4th.